Hey YouTube, Dread Joker here, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of my newer non-grades. This is the Gundam Dynames from Season 1 of Gundam 00. I absolutely love this thing. In my eyes, this is one of the best things you can pick up. This beats the high grade in every form. This is the only competition the Master Grade has, and it should. This came first. But for the price and the availability, since almost all of the 00 non-grades are getting reprinted like crazy right now, and just 00 and Seed stuff in general just seems to be getting reprinted like crazy. You can get this for really cheap nowadays. I got this locally for about $25. I would happily buy this again. For color accuracy, you got your basic stuff. You got the green, white, yellow, and red, and a few unsightly color correcting stickers, but it's better than having to paint it, at least for the moment. Starting off, you have your basic eyes. That's the given. The green mutton chops it has on both sides of its face are stickers, not the ones back here, however. These ones are actual colored pieces that go over the sides, similar to Exia's ears. You have the two stickers up here on the V-fin. You have the front and rear cameras, so they'll also go without saying. The V-fin can actually pull forward and drop down over the eyes, exposing the shooting mode camera, which is really cool. I love that this is a gimmick it has. I don't remember the high grade having this. I could be wrong. But you have two stickers right here for the camera. You have the upper section and the lower section. This works out pretty well, considering you're not really going to be in there all that much, and if you are, I question why you're fiddling around inside his head. But it's really easy to move the V-fin. I love this. It's actually a really sturdy V-fin too, because they knew you were going to be messing with this, so they made this thing really thick, which I always appreciate, because as my brother has constantly taught me, you're going to break that V-fin if you ain't careful. I've had to glue some of his kits more than once because of it. And at this point, I'm thinking about just getting a soldering iron. So zooming on out here, I did do a bit of paint work on this, and it's the same treatment I applied to the Exia and all of my 00 non-grades. It's just in here in the chest, you may notice that it's a little, like, really green in there. What I did was I took some Tester's silver paint from the paint pen that I had, and I just went in there before, during assembly. I painted all of the backing, and then I painted the clear part in the Gundam metallic green marker. This worked out really well, and the reason why I did this is because, once again, they give you a flat sticker on a rounded surface. This does not work. They're also claiming that the sticker they give you is green. If it is green, I'm purple. But there is a lot of lining potential on this. Luckily, most of it is pretty well done. So you might be wondering, well, hey, where's the rest of Dynames' equipment? Well, I have that set off to the side because the extended shields are just slightly too heavy for the arms. You will have to tighten them up at the armor connection if you're going to use the extended shoulder pads. That's the only problem with it. Literally, the only one. Moving on to articulation, arms can move up right here at this joint. So they move up at the shoulders, right here. Then they fold up here, and then the actual shoulder moves. So it can do the full X pose if it wants. Also, you do have moving armor bits for the shoulder panels. These come in a little bit later, but at the same time they look kind of like wings. I like it. You can extend these bits, and I will show these later. You can extend them and rotate them any which way. Also important. You have a really good rocking joint here from the polycap inside here, and just like Exia, there is quite a bit of hollowness inside of this, but not nearly as much as Exia had, so modifying this with an LED, I'm not sure if it's possible. the clavicle antennas move, and these ones are similar to Exia's in that they are the antennas, and that's about where the similarities stop. These don't build the same. These build rather uniquely, and they work really well. I applied the same treatment to the GN drive where I did the silver on the bottom and I did the top of this part on the underside, so that way it would reflect. And then I painted the clear part with the same metallic green marker that I had. This worked out really good, makes the drive look like it's actually on, and it catches the light pretty well. I'm happy with this. Other stickers on this kit, they get more frequent as you move down. You get the standard 2 that are on the pistols inside of his hip skirts here. And this one, if you get it lined up right, the pistol will actually fold out with it. And you don't even have to really finagle it to get in its hand. You just have to raise or lower it down, fold back, keep pushing, and it will just slide into his hand. And he actually can draw his own pistols without having to have his hand opened or modified or anything like that. And he holds these really, really well. All of the 00 non-grades hold their weapons ridiculously well from what I have so far. The only one of the Season 1 set that I have not purchased, well actually ones I should say, is the Virtue/Nodlay set to complete my Gundam team. And I have not been able to locate the Overflag. Those are the only 2 I haven't been able to find. Other than that, not counting the Estrella for the MSV catalog, I have them all for Season 1. Pistols, you have, you know, your standard green sticker here for the lens, and let's just get a nice look on these pistols. These are actually pretty good looking. Nicely detailed, could be a little more color separated, but for 2 pieces of plastic you slap together, and also the fact that this was only a $25 kit, you're looking at some really good quality here. You might be wondering, well hey, what's that little bit of blue I see right there? Is that a sticker? No, just like with the non-grade Exia and every other non-grade Gundam type in this line, all of the GN particle cables for the power systems are actually a rubber-like material. It may actually be rubber, but it doesn't smell like rubber. So all of those, what would be a sticker on the high grade, are actually dedicated parts here. These actually work really well. They stay in place really well, and in case you're wondering how good the arms are, you do have a full 360 rotation at the bicep here. Then you might be seeing a GN cable here and wondering like, okay, well is this going to do anything with the arms? Let's rotate the armor. And so there's the upper arm bend, only about 45 degrees, so not great, but not terrible. And then the lower bend at the arm makes up for that with, I'd say, a little more than 45. So we're looking at a little over 90 degrees total here. Not the best, not the worst, but this is a sniper. I was expecting these cables to jam, but no. This one actually is only connected in up here at the elbow joint, the upper elbow joint. The one actually down here is just flopping around inside of here, sliding along a little mock track, if you will. It's not secured, but it's secured, if you know what I mean. Same treatment I applied here. I haven't bothered lining these because Dynames really doesn't need it. You got his beam sabers back here. These are the hardest part on this kit to work with because they go in just fine. Coming out, not fine. You have to get a tool and really try to futz with them. I might be able to get this one out with my thumb, and yeah, it's finally deciding to come out. It's just the exact same beam sabers Exia has, maybe a little thinner. So it holds them well enough. There is no hinge here that just slide in here. There's no locking point. It's all friction. His butt flaps, or butt thrusters, I should say, very maneuverable. These are on ball joints, so they're pretty good. No opening gimmick like on the master grade, so that's a little disappointing, but hey, no grade. Most people expect these to be bad, and I'm here to prove to the contrary. Front skirts, ball jointed, individually molded, no separation required as they come pre-molded like this. Negative, they are really hollow, so if you're going to do this, either fill this in and sand it, or paint this to match like what its armor color would be on the underside. No opening panels here because, as the aforementioned, hollowness. Knees, you get these really cool kneeling, like kneel pads for the knees and stuff. I like these. This is a nice gimmick. Gives it that extra bit of oomph, and I personally love this. The gun boxes come off easily. There's just a peg into a hole. This is where more of the stickers come in, because this bit of gray you see here, up here and down here, on both sides of both legs, these are stickers. So between the legs, we're already looking at 8 stickers right now, and I'm not going to lie, these were actually the easiest stickers to apply on this. You just line it up with the first side of the hole, and this one especially was very easy to figure out. It's an angled surface, and it only goes in one way. If you mess this up, you're not paying attention. But this is a good chance to show the knee articulation and everything. Hips are ball jointed, but that's not a problem. So here's the max outward, which is fine by me. Again, you weren't exactly seeing Dynames doing the Jackie Chan or, God forbid, the Van Damme. I'm not going to force a kit to do that again. That's what killed my Astray. But forward, really, really good. Backward, also really good. And in case you're wondering if it can pull off the high kick, well, let's see. Yep, it can pull off a pistol kick. So the balance on this, once you get it the way you want it, is really good. That's something you can't say about a lot of kits, especially the Master Grade Exia. Yes, I'm going to rip on that thing for a while. It's terrible. If you bought it, I'm sorry. I will maybe refund you if you... See, he can hold it for a while, just you need support. Then knee. Bends really far at the first joint, then ridiculously far at the upper joint. So with this, you can get a kneeling pose combined with everything absolutely no problem. And those knee pads really help it out. But of course you're wondering, well, hey, isn't this Dynames? Where's his other weapons? I'm getting to that. Setting Dynames off to the side, we bring in his primary weapon, the GN Sniper. This is really well done. There are some parts to its construction that are annoying, just to say the least. You have to build this exactly as the manual says. You can't just slide this part in afterwards, because there's a part on the other side that locks it in place. So if you aren't paying attention, you're going to have to disassemble this like 3 times, and that's what I ended up doing because I was half paying attention when I built this thing. It does have a moving bipod up front, and you do get 2 sets of legs with this. You get these standard legs here, which are the shorter type, and the longer extended type. And I don't like the fact that you have to separate these via this. This hook looks very thin, and I personally don't trust it. Like, if you swap this out a lot, you're going to break these. There's no sugarcoating it. These are going to break. I haven't had it happen yet, but I haven't swapped them out. I'm going to just stick with the collapsed version of the bipod because, honestly, if I'm going to have him in a sniper pose, he's going to be holding it like a sniper would be on the move. But as for the weapon itself, it looks phenomenal. You've got a moving handle here, moving parts up here. This handle does not slide back and forth. I mean, it wants to, but as the aforementioned peg stopping it, it's not. You've got a clear part and a sticker, and it tells you to put the sticker behind the clear part versus some of the newer kits where they tell you to put the sticker on top of the clear part that has detail on it. Pretty much all of the Astrays tell you to do this. You don't have to do this. Holding it is no problem. You also have an additional ball joint back here, so it can actually rotate in the hand while being connected to the arm. And bring in our big green friend in. We're going to line up the handle with his hand and this peg with that hole. Just going to slot everything together, slide it on in there. Get it all lined up, and it may decide to fight me on this one, and there we go. Once you get the weapon in there, it's in there. Like I said, everything on this kit is very tight as far as connections go. How tight is it? Completely upside down, shake test. See the arm's going, weapon ain't going. It ain't going anywhere. Another joint I forgot to mention is there is a joint up here in the shoulder that brings the arms forward. So it does have a shoulder crunch, so it can get its arms across its chest really easily. So it actually can pull off to varying degrees of success. When you don't pull his hand out, a traditional double-handed pose, albeit not one that's very good. It does include the standard expressive left hand, and I did find out today while I was out looking at some of those kits around town, is they did actually manufacture an expressive right hand, but for whatever reason, that part, specifically that part, is exclusive to the non-grade Avalanche Exia. Why they decided to do this is beyond me, but oh well, I'm going to be picking that up next week anyway, so. And if I stop hitting my set, things will be going a lot better for me. Get this reattached real quick. And get the rifle out of his hand, because now we get to move on to the large shields, or the full shield it has. And this does do more or less everything the Master Grade does, minus LED functionality, and no full inner frame. This builds like a high grade, but in this case, that's good news. It's not complex. This is perfect for beginners. So to attach the full shield, you take the shield bits, or shield binder parts, off the shoulders, fold them down, and slide into either the first or second tab. It's up to you. I personally use the first one, because when you attach the shield with the peg into the hole again, I do this because it fills out the gap much better. Otherwise, this is back too far, and it just looks weird. Attaching the other one to the other side. Then, just for Grin's going to give him his pistol back. And we're going to swing the entire assembly forward. And then you can slide it back to lock these in place. This is how a lot of people store their Dynames, because then you got a nice flat surface for him to rest on. Then you only have to worry about his oversized butt. I like this because you can actually open up each individual section of the armor, and if you so desire, you can have him bring the gun forward through the armor, through the first section, and have the second section completely closed. I love this concept. I love the idea that it's working with like a Desperado cloak now for a sniper. This is awesome. We rarely see this kind of gimmick. I don't know why they don't do it more, but like with an actual real cloth. Not that polyvinyl stuff they give you that sounds like a trash bag wrinkling. An actual cloth. They did this on like 2 or 3 kits. Why are they not doing this anymore? Also included in the box, you do get, because this is a 1/100 scale figure, the action base adapter. So to test this, we're going to bring in the action base, and this just plugs right around his crotch near his butt. And this gets him airborne, and any balance problems you may have had, you can kiss them goodbye. This thing, once it's airborne, it's fine. It's fine, and I may have just broken his action base connector. Let me get this connected off camera. I will be right back. Yep, I broke his action base connector. Oh well, time to fish around in this box until I find another one. And where is that other one? If memory serves, his and Exia's are 100% identical. And that was a box of parts collapsing next to me. Don't worry about it. It happens quite often around here. Swapping that back in, and this is why I generally leave the action-based connectors on my kits. I take that back. His and Exia's are... Wait, are they the same? No, they are not the same, but... his action-based connector is very good. Before it decided to flex on me and break a little bit, I could have put it on the action base, turn it completely upside down, and go ham on it. It was ridiculously solid. So if you want, you can get this airborne at pretty much any angle you want. Get it positioned wherever you want. Mount it on your wall. Mount it upside down. Don't know why you do that, but you can. At the end of the day, I'm giving this the best ratings possible. This is a solid 10 out of 10 in every area for me. And especially given the price. Because if we're talking non-grades, you don't set a high bar with those in the first place. The 00 stuff has completely blown my mind. I am loving this, and I cannot wait to check out the Avalanche Exia, and especially the Overflag if I ever find it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down in the comments section below. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you had a fantastic day.